In the second video in this series, Dynamo tutorial series, I'm going to introduce some math to this grid to make it more interesting and mathematically defined. The first thing I do is that I want to symmetrically align this grid around the origin inside Dynamo and Revit. To do this, I just divide all the x and y integers in half. Next up, I'm going to make a series of numbers between 0 and 360. That's the degrees. I'm going to use these numbers, the list of numbers, to use them in trigonometry for a cosine function that's going to give me a pretty nice curvy surface. The first function I'm going to use is a simple cosine function. Just open a code block and write math.cos parentheses something and wire your degree numbers, your degrees into this function. Copying the point node that we used previously, I'm going to wire this function or the resulting numbers into my z input of the point, the new point node, just to see a line of points. I connect these with a NURBS curve to make it just to visualize the math. And what you see here is now a perfectly defined cosine function between 0 and 360. Changing the amplitude can be done pretty easily by introducing another number slider. Actually, I'm not going to use an integer slider. I want a number slider, so you can implement like smaller numbers, obviously, and just multiplying this with the math function, you can easily change the amplitude of the cosine graph. Developing this further, we are going to make the math a little bit more complex by flipping it. So you can have like the maximum roof in the middle, the tallest point, just by applying a minus in front of the amp, and also adding the amp at the end of the formula. You move the entire graph up to so it never goes below 0. Let's call this function number 1. We are going to make another function, and we're going to do that. In that function, we're going to implement a period. So if you multiply this number I with a period or any kind of number, you can easily change the series from 0 to 360 degrees to something else, for instance, 720 degrees. And let's look at the graph in the background, how that actually looks. You make an integer slider, change the minimum and maximum values, and wire the period in. Now with 2 periods, you see that you have 2 cosine graphs within the same range of numbers. Changing it to 3, you have 3 cosine graphs, and eventually what we'll do is we'll combine these 2 functions into one. Calling this function 2, we're going to copy this node, and then using function number 1 as the amplitude inside the new function number 3. Let's visualize that and see how that looks. Now the line, the curve that you see in the background, that's actually now 2 cosine functions added and multiplied to each other. So you can basically see that the first one is adding to the second one with 3 periods.